So this is the low water bridge that we cross to get home. Right now it's actually not too bad. It was another foot deeper last night, which means it's only a bridge in low water. I was evaluating it today just to see if there's a chance of getting out or not. This actually, there is a chance of getting out, but this is also when all the new stones are washed down and piled up. So there's a lot of cool stones and good resources that get washed down. Eventually they make their way out to the lake and just add into the sediment over there. But a lot of rain lately. And looks like we can get out today, so if we need to, we'll keep that in mind. Some days though you just wind up trapped here. That's just part of the way of life. Since the ground is mostly rock and clay, it's not exactly very thirsty. Since there's a lot of hills, everything slopes down. And yesterday there was a whole river flowing this way up the street too. All the way up there and around the corner. So, pretty crazy. So, this is a section that we're going to phase out a lot of the underbrush. When you cut things back here, they all regrow. So we periodically let the sheep and goats in here, and they just mow everything back. From the poison ivy and the little all various trees growing back to some of the ground cover, they just kind of take it all out for us. So I just let them in here now. A couple of these ewes are pretty pregnant, expecting some babies before it gets too cold. We've had some lamb in the spring before, had some in the winter before. Move it up a little earlier right now. When we were out at American Homestead a couple weeks ago, they were lambing then. They lost a couple before in cold winter births, so they wanted to move it up a little bit for them. Yeah, look at him. He's nibbling those off. There you go, Dodge. Way to be, buddy. So eventually this woods will be thinned out a bit. The garden area is going to come up through there a little bit. There's still going to be a drive lane around the perimeter of the property on this side. Yeah, we're working on it. We're working on it. Oh, she found a big pile. And the goats. One step at a time, and let the animals help when you can. So if I stick around today, that might be the project I work on. You can see the porch on the left up top has a roof. The main part does not have a roof. And I'm thinking of using some of the grain bin materials for it. I'm going to look into that here. But if I stick around today, I think that's my project. Just get that thing covered, and then I'll finish up eventually here. It'll look a lot different by the time I'm done, but that's been a project in the works for a while now. Although my main project I really got to work on is the wood stove. Getting that in the house for the winter. We'll see. It's cold, it's rainy. I'm definitely not doing nothing. So we'll see what happens today. Alright guys, if you saw some of those trailers at the end of the last video, you saw that Pinky Pepper here got a cookbook. And she made some cookies. And they were telling me that some of the cookies were hot. And I'm like, they're hot? What are you talking about? Well, I just had one. It's totally stinging me in the back of the throat. Do you know what happened, child?
No.
Do you remember when I cooked my death sausage?
Yeah.
I used one of those pans. So one of those pans still had some of the oil, some of the capsaicin on it from the Carolina Reapers and the ghost peppers. And then when she made her cookies, they were infused with the oil. They had the oil from the ghost peppers and the Carolina Reapers in them. So, yeah. That is a good spicy cookie, guys. I like it. Are you helping with chores? Little man.
He says nothing.
Little man. Peek! Hey, Bugger. What's in there? Is the chick moving in the house?
No. Oh.
The chick's going to move out?
Yeah.
And it's just the bunnies in there?
Yeah.
Okay. I like your hat. Is that a special hat that came? Yeah, that was a special gift of a hat. Does it keep you warm in winter? There you go. So here's this one hugel mound. You can see it's less weedy over there. More weedy over here. I have to weed this thing. And probably just put a layer of mulch on it to protect it for the winter. But check out these collards. They had to fight through some, another one over there. Fight through some bugs in the summer, but these 4 plants lasted. We haven't really got in much of our fall or winter crops yet. But we've got stuff like this still growing, so that's happy. And look at that. Every time we get a lot of rain, this little mini pond gets a little water in it. It's actually really soft around here. I could do some sculpting today, but that's not the most important one for us. And then cool thing about these achachas, we didn't pick them. Oh, it's so juicy. It's squirting actually. But if you open that up, see that? Those black seeds? There we go. So those black seeds are the ones for next year. So we can do is just grab them, drop them down here, and then as we probably add some rabbit manure and stuff to keep them through the winter, it'll plant these and they'll come back in the spring then. Yeah, there they go. I like, you know, there we go. Now my planting of the achachas is done for next year. You can see a couple of them down there. That'll help. And this stuff can all be composted or something. How you like that, son? We got to finish that project too, like the rest of our life. And then what kind of fish you want to put in there?
Huh?
What kind of fish you want to put in there?
Maybe bluegill and some green sunfish.
What'd you say?
Bluegill and green sunfish.
Those are some good choices. Bluegill and green sunfish. And guys, we might get out of goats for the time being. That's blueberry. But we might stick to sheep for the time being and then maybe get in some Nigerian dwarfs later. Not sure if I know anyone by me who raises goats, but she might be finding a new home soon. And there they are, working on keeping that section clean. Hey, you can snap off some of those sunchokes behind you and give them some too. Don't rip them out of the ground like that. Oh, break them off. Oh yeah, blueberry. You like sunchoke tops.
The king. For the king.
Yeah, you do. What's going on, Rambo?
What?
Oh, sorry, Dodge. I forgot.
Okay. Guess raspberry did one.
I do want to get to that mini barn, but got to help a friend unload a trailer here at some point. I don't know when he's going to call. So that said, I'm not going to jump off in the woods with a crossbow and try to get a deer. I don't want to be in the woods when he needs my help. But also we got a couple sheep to move, and I should pick up some hay and alfalfa, straw and stuff in the near future too. So that trailer is still full of a big load of mulch. But if I'm taking care of the mulch, I want to do it right. And one of the things is, if you look at these paths, okay, this is starting to kind of break down into, you know, good soil. I mean, this was not too long ago. That was wood chips and stuff. I scraped it bare to hard earth. And then I covered it with wood chips. So now, I've actually got a decent growing medium. It's even better over here on this side. I think down in here, I mean, you can still see the wood chips and stuff here. But this stuff is, wow. That's kind of clayey there, but this is kind of rich and black. So what I want to do, I think, is where the Malabar spinach grows is next to where all of these guys escaped. The border's here. All those strawberries are outside, all those are, but this I want to connect. What I'm doing is, I have some wires across here anyway, to help support these while they get bigger. And as these get bigger, they should be able to stand themselves up. There are my grapes here. But for now, I'm going to have this wire running across, and with this being a path, people get clotheslined on here. So I'm just going to close this off. I'm going to switch and connect this raised bed to this one. And I'll just kind of keep them a bit separated. The Malabar will grow up and over this strawberries anyway. If these start invading, they won't really be able to get light or live. So this whole section here, I'm going to put rocks there and then scrape up a bunch of this stuff, fill it in there, probably add a thing of rabbit manure, and then take some of the mulch off of all that's mulch, and fill in the path. Kind of like I did there. That's all fresh mulch. You ready, son? Let's get this party started. So if you look at it now, here's where the strawberries stop. All that up to where the Malabar starts is actually some pretty good growing medium. Still got some wood in it, has some clay in it, but a lot of rich organic material. I'm going to add a layer of rabbit manure to here as well. And as I continue to thin the strawberries, well, not even thin them out, but remove the strawberries that are in the pathway, there's going to be, of course, good soil to help fill some of our raised beds underneath there. And I can fill in some of these blanks if I want, plant this section with some strawberries. If they're too thick, they're not going to do well anyway. So I should be thinning what I do have here. You saw me chucking some stuff over there. There's a kind of a wallow, kind of a little shallow spot. We'll fill that in continually and let the strawberries keep popping up over it. But now we have a mulched path over there, mulched over here, new mulch. The old mulch that was breaking down gets used in the raised bed. Number of other places around here I'm going to do stuff like that. But it's cool because then my paths create more material to add to the raised beds. Threw a little extra on top of that side of the Malabar. And this stuff should reseed itself. I've got a pile of it over here too. Extra seeds. I'll be taking those in, drying them out. They will be used as free gifts with any order from our online store, just so people can grow their own Malabar. One of our top garden plants. My best plant I didn't plant this year because I didn't have to plant it. I've got like a 5-gallon bucket now of strawberries. So the cool thing is, when we moved down here to the Ozarks, one of our neighbors gave us some strawberries to start with. We also got some from some other sources, including Shalom Acres. But now, the lady we got ours from actually needs some strawberries. So I'll see how many she needs, and probably, if she wants them, what we'll do is we'll go to her bed, we'll weed her bed, and we'll plant these. Because I find it best, if you're giving somebody else a gift, especially a plant, if you can actually help them get it in the ground, there's a much better chance that that gift will actually be used and live, rather than just kind of dropping it off and then they never get around to it. And then you wasted the blessing you were trying to give them. So we're going to put some rabbit manure on here. I'm going to fill up as many buckets as I can with some of this mulch. Try to get that trailer emptied because I want to pull some of our other sheep back down to the property. A couple of last year's ewes are ready to breed now. We don't breed them their first year because a lot of them will miscarry their first time if they're bred right away in a couple months after birth. So we just kind of skip that first year. We're not trying to produce as many as we can. just trying to give them a nice life while they're here. So let's get some buckets filled and let's get some rat manure. Deal?